Welcome to the Canadian Drone Pilot's Guide. Today we'll be discussing the Transport Canada Level 1 Complex Flight Review. As a reminder, we have flight reviewers all across the country, and we're currently actually looking for flight reviewers in British Columbia, Manitoba, Newfoundland and Labrador, Quebec, and Prince Edward Island. We look forward to hearing from you. Now today we'll go over a high-level overview of the Transport Canada Level 1 Complex Flight Review. Now the importance is for you to demonstrate the ability to safely and effectively plan a mission in accordance with the CARS that begins within visual line of sight and transitions into Level 1 Complex beyond visual line of sight. Your flight reviewer will provide two coordinates, approximately 4 kilometers apart, for which you'll prepare a concept of operations for either a small or medium RPAS. This enables you to demonstrate your operational risk assessment, or RA, process. As a part of your flight review, your reviewer will schedule a suitable time and location to conduct your Level 1 Complex Flight Assessment, VLOS. Note, if you choose to complete your assessment at a different location than the one specified by your flight reviewer, additional fees actually may apply. So let's talk about the 4 phases of our flight review. Now the 4 phases are the pre-flight site survey, the launch and VLOS segment, the BVLOS segment, and the simulated BVLOS scenarios, as well as the 5th, which I didn't fail to mention, is your post-flight procedures. All of these are actually graded for you to pass your Level 1 Complex Flight Review. Now in Phase 1, you need to conduct your site survey for your VLOS flight, ensuring your view airspace, no TAMs, ground risk, forecasted weather minimum, and confirm and brief your DAA crew rules and their locations, including communications, emergency plans, and georeferencing, and geofencing, and RTH settings. For Phase 2, you want to initiate your launch procedure, climb to your required altitude, fly a straight leg to a predetermined waypoint, we'll call it waypoint 1, and you want to maintain observer communication and perform a smooth transition into BVLOS. Now this is all simulated, obviously. Phase 3 is your BVLOS segment. You need to execute a BVLOS transit along the planned track over the field at the required altitude. You need to maintain your C2 link and navigation integrity, apply your mitigations consistent with declared ARC and GRC levels. Now let's define what ARC, GRC, and DAA actually means. What ARC actually means is your aircraft risk class. This evaluates the risk of collision between your RPAS and other aircraft operating in the same airspace. It considers factors such as your airspace classification, proximity to aerodromes, typical aircraft activity area, as well as the altitude of operation and known aviation routes or corridors. Your ground risk class measures the risk to people, property on the ground, RPAS experience, if your RPAS experiences a failure or crash. Your DAA refers to your detect and avoid, and this is the procedures or technologies used to detect other aircraft in maintaining a safe separation distance. This concept is especially important for BVLOS operations where the remote pilot cannot rely solely on visual observations. Now your DAA may actually include visual observers, electronic traffic awareness systems such as ADS-B receivers, radar or optical detection systems, procedural separation, and airspace coordination. The purpose of the DAA is to maintain separation from crewed aircraft and reduce aircraft collision. Now during your CONOPS, operational risk assessment, you would typically assess your ground risk for your planned route, assess your air risk based on the surrounding airspace, and identify mitigation measures such as your DAA procedures. In addition to this, you want to demonstrate the operation can be conducted safely within Canadian RPAS regulatory requirements. When we're evaluating the ability for you to plan safe RPAS missions in the flight review, we're looking at your crew briefings, your manual flight control, as well as your threat response. This gives us an overarching representation of how you'll actually fly as a pilot. In your flight review, we'll cover documentation verification, your crew safety briefing, as well as your pre-flight inspection. Now you need to ensure the RPAS is actually in its optimal condition. This is very important. Now, finally, when we get to the landing and debriefing, we have our landing procedure, Then we go through our debriefing process. We need to discuss performance of the aircraft as well as situational objectives. As a flight reviewer, we want to ensure that you as a candidate are fully prepared at the end of the assessment. We'll give you a pass or fail right away. Well, moving on, we have situations requiring a redo. So let's say you come to the test and you're quite not prepared. You either haven't made CARS compliance, your operational risk assessment was not good, you're unsafe in procedures, and there are communication issues as well as dangerous behaviors. Now, non-compliance with regulations can lead to automatic review failure. An unsatisfactory assessment indicates inadequate preparedness for safe operations. Engaging in unsafe flying practices jeopardizes the safety of all involved. Ineffective communication can lead to misunderstandings and unsafe situations. It's important to brief thoroughly throughout the flight. When we're looking at dangerous behaviors, any dangerous actions during the review necessitate immediate retake to ensure safety. Now, this is extremely important. Now, when we're looking at your CONOP submission, us as your reviewer, the reviewer organization, we require advanced submission. Candidates are obviously always encouraged to submit their concept of operations in advance, ensuring that the reviewer can assess the plans thoroughly before the assessment day. We look at the on-site submission. Alternatively, candidates may bring a printed copy of their CONOPS assessment, but it is crucial to prepare it well in advance to avoid last-minute issues. Now, looking at your required documentation that you're required to actually bring, your government ID, your RPAS certificate, your ground school completion, your exam pass confirmation. These are all requisites for you to come during your flight review examination date. Further to this, we want to see, obviously, that you should be bringing your RPAS user manual, your scenario CONOPS document, your operator manual SOPs, and emergency checklists. Now, there's some essential materials for your flight assessment preparation. Looking at both two things, your operational risk assessment. This identifies potential risks associated with the planned operation, and your SOPs and emergency checklist provides your standard procedures for safe operational practices. Looking at essential gear, you're going to want to have your takeoff and landing pads, your fire extinguishers, and first aid kits. In addition to this, when you're transitioning from VLOS to BVLOS operations, you want to ensure that you have a mission overview, operational planning, as well as risk mitigation. Now, in regards to your practical flight review, we're looking at those phases again: your site survey, your launch of VLOS procedures, and your simulated BVLOS procedures as well. We want to address obstacle inspection and unexpected ground activities at all times. You want to review your airspace NOTAMs, weather, and ground risk. And during the review, you want to execute launch, climb, waypoint navigation tasks throughout the entire flight. The importance is to maintain your control link and observer communications throughout the flight review. Now we're looking at the operational scenarios. It's important that you address obstacle inspection and unexpected ground activities. How to be prepared to come for your flight review. Now, this is a very important thing. We advise crews to ensure that their RPAS is registered, they have spare parts, fully charged batteries, a visual observer, takeoff landing pad, safety markers, fire extinguisher, and a first aid kit. Now, obviously, this is a high-level overview in terms of your test, but we want to ensure at the end of the day that you're equally prepared to come on site. Again, as we started off in the beginning of our video, we are looking for reviewers in British Columbia. We're also looking for reviewers in Manitoba. In addition to that, Quebec, Newfoundland, and Prince Edward Island. If you're interested in becoming a reviewer with us in these provinces, or all the provinces for that matter, please let us know, and we look forward to hearing from you. If you're interested in booking a flight review test, L1C, or flight review general, please contact us, and we'd be more than glad to assist you. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on the field.